When you look at a list of tech conferences, it doesn't usually scream national strategy. But what if it did? What if that calendar was actually a public blueprint for a country's plan to become a global AI leader? Well, for Saudi Arabia, that's exactly what's happening. This isn't just a schedule of events, it's their entire strategy, hiding in plain sight. And that's the key thing to get it right off the bat. This is happening right now. This quote says it all, doesn't it? We're not talking about some distant, futuristic dream. The kingdom is on the move, executing its plan today. And every single event we're about to look at is a very deliberate piece of that puzzle. So, what's the master plan behind all of this? It's called Vision 2030. Now, this isn't just some catchy slogan. Think of it as the engine, the entire operating system that's turning big ambitions into actual, measurable digital power. The calendar we're digging into, it's basically a series of public progress reports on this massive national roadmap. Okay, so let's jump into the timeline. Our first stop is November 2025, and this month is all about laying the groundwork. The theme here is simple. Move AI from theory to practice. It's about getting the whole country on the same page, skilling up the workforce, and getting ready for the next big push. And you can see how practical this is when you look at the events. The AI for Professionals conference, that's all about taking those high-level abstract ideas about AI ethics and turning them into things people can actually use at their jobs every day. At the same time, the Digital Government Forum has the government itself leading the charge, showing off how AI can make life better for citizens. The message is crystal clear. This is about real-world use, not just talk. So, the big takeaway for November is really this major shift in thinking. The phase of just tinkering and experimenting with AI, that's over. The new priority is massive, widespread adoption. It's about making sure that everyone, from big corporations to government agencies, has the skills and the systems in place to actually use this tech. All right, so once that foundation is built, December comes in with a pivot to two absolutely critical things: scaling up in a huge way and building an ironclad defense. Because let's face it, if you're going to build a digital-first nation, you better be able to protect it. And these three events really paint a picture of just how big this ambition is. First, you've got AI being plugged into heavy industry to supercharge the Made in Saudi initiative. Then you have Black Hat MEA, which shows the goal isn't just to defend themselves, but to become the cybersecurity hub for the entire region. And finally, Date with Tech brings it all home, focusing on nurturing local talent and building unique things, like their own Arabic language AI models. So the strategy for December really boils down to this dual focus. On one side, you have this massive push for innovation in factories and startups everywhere. And on the other, an equally powerful push for defense in what they call digital sovereignty. They're making sure that as they expand digitally, they're resilient from day one. Because in their view, innovation and defense have to go hand in hand. So they've laid the groundwork for adoption and they've secured the infrastructure. Now, in January 2026, the ambition kicks into an even higher gear. The focus shifts from just being a country that uses AI to becoming a country that helps write the rules for the rest of the world. And just look at how specialized and targeted these conferences are. One is drilling down into the really nitty-gritty industrial uses of AI and data science. The other is hyper-focused on one of the biggest challenges in AI today: data privacy and doing automation the right way. This isn't a general, fluffy conversation. It's about defining the technical and ethical nuts and bolts. And that right there is the mic drop for January. This pair of conferences signals a massive ambition. Saudi Arabia doesn't just want to follow the world's best practices for ethical AI. It fully intends to be at the table, helping to define what those standards are going to be for everyone else. So let's zoom out. When you put all these pieces together, November, December, January, what's the big picture? Well, it becomes incredibly clear that this isn't just a random series of events. It's a deeply integrated national strategy, all built on a few core pillars. And it really all comes down to these three things. First, smart regulation. We saw that with the push for practical ethics guidelines. Second, national resilience. That's where powerhouse events like Black Hat come in. And third, localization, which is all about building up their own talent and creating unique solutions, like those Arabic language AI models. Every single event we talked about feeds into one, or even all, of these pillars. And this brings us right back to where we started. This quote just nails it. Vision 2030 isn't some dusty policy document on a shelf. It is a living, breathing framework that is actively using AI to reshape the entire economy, government, and society. When you look at it this way, Saudi Arabia is creating a really fascinating case study. By making its tech calendar a public roadmap, it's pioneering a powerful and very transparent new way to execute a national strategy. And it leaves you with the pretty big question. What happens when a country lays its cards on the table for the whole world to see?